Hey everyone, welcome into Bleacher Talk. I'm Claudia Collins alongside Jordan Spurgeon, and it's one of the most exciting weeks in high school football. All the big rivalry games this week. We kind of get a bye week next week, heading into the Open. It's just it's crunch time, I think is the best way to put it. Spurs went out to the luncheon for the Hamilton Chandler game earlier this week, so we'll have more out of that. And then of course we'll have Eliav Gabay on for our social spotlight. But right now, it is time to bring in the one and only Bruce Cooper to go over some picks, and he's still in the lead. So I know you're smiling right now. You probably already knew because you're the only one to go 3-0 last week.
Oh, I went 3-0.
You went 3-0 last week.
Woo, 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 woo.
Oh, don't act like you didn't know.
I didn't.
Hey, well, right behind you, Spurge is still giving you a test here at 19-11 after going 2-1 last week, and I was 1-2. So I'm going 500 right now. I'm batting 500. I'm 15-15. So I don't know if I have a shot here, guys. Unfortunately, I think you guys would have to have a pretty rough go at it in the
We may have
playoffs.
to make some playoff bonus games with extra points or something potentially. We might discuss that maybe if we want to keep
Yeah,
Claudia in the
maybe
game
we'll put out a poll, see if the people agree. But what do you say, Bruce? Are you ready to pick some games, or real quick, do you want to just Thursday? Thursday's a big night for football.
Yeah, yeah. How about that? I was out at a fundraiser for a Perry football player. He's having some medical issues there, and heck, some of the people there that were there to support the event. I mean, they were needing to get away because their sons were playing football on a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday because all the games have been moved up a day. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm all about the Thursday games. There's some rivalry games that I know that we'll get into, but yeah, I can't wait.
So we're picking from all Thursday games. We'll start with Corona del Sol at Castile. Spurge, I'm going to let you pick this one first.
Yeah, this one has a lot of implications. Castile was off to a hot start this season, had a chance at the Open, but they just weren't competitive against Chandler, Hamilton, Basha. So pretty much sitting at 13th in those rankings, they're going to be a 6A team. Corona del Sol, though, first year under head coach Jake Barrow, they're number 7 in the Open rankings right now. So a win here would solidify their opportunity to play in the Open division. And I think for Castile right now, they're pretty much settled in, understanding that they're going to be one of the top seeds in the 6A playoffs. So I really like what Castile is built. I understand momentum could be something that could maybe hold a couple players back. I know losing 3 games, even if it is against 3 of the best teams in the state, can be very deflating at the end of a season heading into the playoffs. And so while I like what Bobby Newcomb and Castile are building, I do think right now Corona del Sol, they're very hungry to play in the Open division, and I'm going to give them the slight edge in this game. I'm going to say 21-20. It'll go down to the wire.
Spurge, I'm not going to lie, I didn't know where you were going to go with this because I'm also somewhat undecided on where I stand. I agree with a lot of what you said. I think Corona del Sol is a really fun team to talk about this season because they've really turned a corner with head coach Jake Barrow. Coaching style we hear over and over is just totally different than what they had last year. Obviously, it's working for them. So whether or not they'd come around to it before, I think their ranking alone speaks for how things have changed over there. Their quarterback, Connor Ackerley, he's been battling a bit of an injury from what I hear. I don't know if he'll be playing in this game. I don't know if you guys have more information on that. I know he was out a week or two. Maybe I'm speaking out of pocket because you guys look confused. So I'll check in on that. But Castile, I mean, there's a ton of talent over at Castile as well. I do actually have to agree with you though, Spurge. I think there's a lot to be said about Castile. Their losses are against the three of the best teams in the state. So I think that says something. Corona del Sol is just on a hot streak right now, and I think that they can totally keep it going. And I'm gonna go 21 to. I'll just go by a field goal, 18. That's the correct math, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bruce, where do you stand on this game?
Well, both of you were hitting the nail right on square on the head. You had it right. I mean, Castile's 3 losses are against the three of the top teams in the state. I mean, we're talking about teams that will all be in the open division. Castile is battle tested. The premier region is the premier region in football. It's aptly named. I mean, their losses against what? Chandler, Basha, and Hamilton. It says something. Meantime, Corona's only loss is to Chandler. But I just like Castile because they are a hard-nosed team. As you talked about, Claudia, they're a very talented team. And they're going to knock Corona del Sol possibly out of the open division because Castile will win this in my mind's eye, they will win this 30-14.
Bruce, I can't even really fully be upset with your answer. I'm glad one of us picked Castile. I'm hoping, just for the sake of Spurge and I, to give you at least a little bit of a test this week that we're correct here. But I think it would have been super easy to go either way. I guess you're full on Castile, though, and I love it.
And I will say, too, I will say Corona's schedule has been a little bit easier. They haven't played a lot of the top teams this year outside of Chandler. So Castile is battle tested. I like that pick, Coop, but I think, like Claudia said, we got to try to get an edge here. So we'll see how that plays out.
They also want something to prove, I feel like when they've had such a successful season, that might have like a little bit more of that extra like drive to win this game, being like, all right, this is our last chance to prove that we deserve to be here. So I think there's something to be said for that as well. But the next game,
I was gonna say hats off to Coach Barrow. I mean, he's come over, he's really taken this program by storm. I mean, he's proven that what he was doing at Casa Grande was no joke. I mean, you got to tip your hat to the guy. I mean, he's in the running for Coach of the Year. Did he win it last year? I mean, come on, this guy.
It was Andy Lynn, yeah. Hey, well, the next game that we've got to choose from is Pinnacle at Centennial. I'll kind of start with this one because I saw Centennial against Liberty last week, which I arrived in the second quarter. I wasn't feeling super well, but I was like, I still need to make it out to this game. I'm really excited about it. So I got out there expecting it to be, end of halftime. It was the second quarter. It was very clear when I arrived that it was a defensive battle, which is what it was until the end. And to be honest, Centennial surprised me. I did know that they had it in them, but they gave Liberty more of a test than I anticipated. And I was really, really impressed with their defense, which I think is going to come into their favor this week, playing a team like Pinnacle that has just such a star-powered offense. So I think that makes it kind of a tough pick. Because when I think Pinnacle, yes, they've got a great defense as well, but they feel like an offensive team to me, whereas Centennial's defense stuck out to me last week. So it makes things interesting, but I will say I think Centennial is going to keep it low scoring for Pinnacle, and probably the Coyotes come out with the win in this one. I'm going to say they win 21-10. Coop, what do you think?
Well, look, Claudia, I can't argue with anything you said there. I mean, I knew last week that Liberty was not going to drop 50 on Centennial. Centennial is too good of a team defensively. I mean, look, their only loss before that game was to Hamilton, I believe it was. And so they had been on a roll. I think they had won like maybe seven games after their season opener to Hamilton. And you could just see Richard Taylor and his guys. They were just getting better and better and better every week. I think they have really morphed or blossomed into a very elite team defensively. And that's going to carry them Thursday night against the Pioneers. Yeah, you talked about Pinnacle having some elite talent over there, and Libman and Deuce and Elijah Page on the line. But this is about Centennial's defense. Centennial will win the game because of their stout defense. I look for Centennial to win this game 28-7.
Spurge, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Centennial really impressed me last week. I think they're going to be the team that makes the Open Division very interesting this year, being one of those bottom 4 seeds in the Open. I think whoever they end up getting, they will compete with, and they will keep it a close game and potentially upset a team in the Open Division. Whereas with Pinnacle, I feel like from what I've seen from them this year, they're a team that has a legit shot at a 6A title. And if they were to win this game, I'm not saying they're not trying to win this game at all, but if they were to win this game and stay in the open division like they're currently slotted right now, don't think they'd be able to make that run because I just don't think they're as physical, especially on the defensive side, as a team like Centennial. And so when you get two teams that are kind of in that 7, 8, 6 range in the open division battling each other, I'm looking for the team that has the better defense and the more physical style of play. That's Richard Taylor's Coyotes at this point. I know Pinnacle's got the star power on offense as well, but give me Centennial, low scoring game. I'm going to say 17-10.
All right, guys, I think you knew where this was headed. There was no way we were going to go into this week and not choose between the Chandler and Hamilton game. So, Spurge, I know you just got the final word on the last game, but we'll let you have the first word on this one.
This game's going to be interesting. We saw, Chandler is not necessarily the most dominant team in the state. Basha beat them 14-7, really low scoring game, defensive battle. And Hamilton this year, their one loss was to Bishop Gorman, who one could argue is one of the top 3 teams in the country this year. That's a really good Bishop Gorman team. I know Hamilton beat them last year. It wasn't necessarily a fluke, but it was more so that Bishop Gorman team was really young and Hamilton had everything last year. They were loaded top to bottom. This year, they're doing just fine. Rock Chalowski goes down. The new guy comes in. He's finding his footing. I was at the luncheon, and Zadebski said he's very proud of how the quarterback room is shaped up this year, despite it maybe being different at this point in the year than they had anticipated coming in. And I think the game changer in this one, I don't have it confirmed, but I think Khalil Valentine might be done. It sounded like he got hurt when I was talking with people. If I'm wrong, I can get corrected later, please. Anyone watching, correct. But if he doesn't play in this game against Hamilton, that's a big game changer. I know whoever the backup is will be fine with that offensive line, but if he's not playing and he's shaken up, or even if he is playing and he's 50%, 60%, that's a big difference. And so I want to say Chandler's the team, but I think I'm going to roll with Hamilton this year. They won last year. They got that monkey off their back. I'm going to say Hamilton's going to pull off the upset, win this game 21-20.
All right, Bruce, I saw a shocked face there. I did see something along the lines of what Spurge is talking about. I'm trying to see if I can get updated information while you make your pick, Coop. But why don't we just start with the shock factor there since it was an immediate jaw drop?
Hey, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I had already made up my mind that this Battle of Arizona Avenue is going to be just that, a battle. But the difference maker for me in this game was Khalil Valentine. That's why my jaw dropped open and hit the floor when Spurs dropped that on me. I mean, I was totally unaware of that. That certainly changes things, but my goodness, I was totally unaware. I mean, that young man is a huge difference maker. Wow. And I know the game's at Hamilton, and look, as Spurge talked about, you look at Basha. Basha is the only team that has beaten both Chandler and Hamilton's only other loss was against, I guess, Bishop Gorman, which ranked third last I saw, third nationally. Geez, man, that really changes things dramatically.
And to give you an update before you make your pick, Spurge, real quick, since you were at the luncheon, was this something that you heard at the luncheon or something that you saw come up online?
Just chatting at the media table. That was the kind of the hot topic where we're like, man, we don't know where to pick because that's a game changer. It sounds like he might not be playing this season.
Yeah. Okay. So just for more update, it does seem like it's an uncertain answer. So I don't know how much we can play into that. And I'm saying that in addition, Spurge, to the information that you just gave, is that he appeared injured in the game against Perry last week. So just to confirm, there is a question mark around whether or not he will play. So I didn't want you to go into making your choice without knowing that information, Bruce.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm one of the things that even though I felt it was a difference maker, I'm just going to go ahead and stick with my original pick of the Chandler Wolves. Man, that really throws a monkey wrench in the whole thing. But I mean, at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and I think the easiest thing for me to do is stick with my original pick, and that's Chandler 24, Hamilton 21.
Yeah, going off of that, I agree. This makes things really difficult because I feel like Khalil Valentine is the Chandler offense. I mean, we saw that in the game against Basha. I mean, he was like, I hate to make it sound this way, but he looked like their best hope for coming out with a W against Basha. And Basha and Liberty are like the two best teams in my eyes. So when we take a look at the schedule, Hamilton's lost to Bishop Gorman, totally agree. Sure, they beat Bishop Gorman last year, but these are two totally different teams, Bishop Gorman and Hamilton. Hamilton's a much different looking team than they were even in the beginning of the season, which does make an impact. Chandler, on the other hand, a lot to say about the connection between Dylan Raiola and Khalil Valentine. I think for my own advantage, there's a lot to be said about Hamilton, a lot of talent. They have been battle tested as well. And since I'm already in a losing position right now, I might as well go a little bit different and hope for a Hamilton win here. So I'm going to choose Hamilton to win this one. I feel like I'm going very similar scores with all these games, but I'm going to go 30-24. So we'll have to see how all of this plays out. For the sake of making it the battle for Arizona Avenue, I hope to see Khalil tomorrow. Hopefully Hamilton can still stop him. That would be my hope, I guess, but would love to see him play because I think that'll make it interesting.
And until then, Claudia, so I was at the luncheon for the Battle for Arizona Avenue. They talked about everything, and I decided to find out which players are coming for our jobs. So I gave them the mic to interview their teammates. And so the next segment coming up on Bleacher Talk from the Battle of Arizona luncheon, you'll get to know the Hamilton and Chandler teams through their own interviews with us out of the way. So stay tuned.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Bleacher Talk. My name is Juma Kashanda, and I'm here with
Dominic Hanger,
Roman Cooper. So these are the two best players in the state, in my opinion. All right, I got a question for y'all today. I got some questions for y'all. Okay, what's your favorite food?
Shoot, chicken Alfredo. Gotta be homemade though.
Real?
Probably just McDonald's or something. I don't know. Something simple.
What?
That's it, bro. Too hot and spicy, bro.
Right.
Hi, my name is Emerson Edmonds. Welcome to Bleacher Talk. I'm with the Huskies right here. We're here with
Jackson Haynes, slot receiver.
Griffin Stalford, center.
Aaron Locker, linebacker.
Daniel Rea, right guard.
So today, I'm going to be asking my boys some questions. First question we're going to start off is, who on the team would you not let date your daughter?
Preston Slayton.
I'm going to have to go Preston Slayton here.
Probably Chandler Davis or Preston Slayton.
You already know. Preston Slayton.
I say it's Chandler Davis. All right, second question. If there was one person to go on a fashion, little walk away, who would it be on the team? Now, who's the drippiest?
Probably Aaron Locker.
I gotta go Genesis Smith.
I'm going to have to go with Cooper LeDuc.
I'm definitely going with Genesis.
Who's your favorite receiver or running back to go against in practice?
Khalil Valentine, man, 4-star running back. He gets me right, so it's hard and it's competition with him. So yeah, Khalil Valentine.
Yeah, for receivers, definitely Blake and Tyreek. Man, they got two quick, fast guys. Just releases give me great work. It's just always good going against them in practice.
If you can go anywhere in the world to visit, where would you go?
Ooh, probably the Bahamas. Bahamas. Yeah.
I don't even know. I'd probably take a visit to Oregon or something.
What? Out of all places?
I just want some IG flicks. Not gonna lie,
Out of all places, Oregon.
And we got the best D tackle in the nation, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Committed to Oregon. Let's go
Yeah, you already know. That's facts. That's facts.
All of us, if Tom Brady was here to throw us a game-winning touchdown, who do you think's coming down with it?
Me.
It's me. It's definitely me.
Both of them lie. It's obviously me.
Jackson Haynes, come on.
See, hey, I'll give it my man Jackson. He's craziest catches I've ever seen, Always doing his stuff.
Who's your favorite person on the team?
Favorite person on the team? Man, Probably this guy right here, Roman Cooper. Just a nice guy.
Man, I can't even answer that. I don't even know, but Dom is top there. Dom is up there.
He's top. He's there. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Who's the funniest dude on the team?
Oh man, funniest. Yeah, hey, man. If it's not, probably Nick, or either Nick or I don't know, Mike. Funny. Just funny looking though.
Probably Amari Go or Sammy Hunter, man. Them dudes. Man, it's dangerous with them, bro.
If you can go on a visit with anybody on the team, who would you take?
Dude, going to visit with anyone?
Yeah.
Oh. Man, it would probably Mike. Mike already know all the ins and outs, man. I'd probably go with Mike. Yeah.
I'll probably go with Ryan just because he's my brother.
Oh, who's Mike?
Let me see the mic. Let me see the mic, bro.
Right.
Hold on. Who y'all think is the hardest hitter on the team?
Man, look at he's right here. Yeah, man. He's right here. Man, last week, he almost took my head off. Almost took my head off, man.
Ooh, who got the best hands on the team?
Best hands?
Defense or offense?
I don't know. I'm going to give it to the
Yeah, I mean, on defense, low-key probably me.
Marley, bro. Our whole secondary got better.
Matt, hop in here, man. Hop in here, man. Hop in here, man.
Get in there, man.
Smart guy.
What up?
What you got to say, bro?
Ask a question.
Ask a question. Anything.
What do you want to do after college, Big Mike?
Ooh, I mean, dog, I want to go to the league. I mean, it got to happen.
Yeah, what team would you be most favorable to go with?
Ooh, the Packers.
The Packers. Yeah.
If there's one person to get yelled at by Z here, who would it be?
Definitely you.
I'm going to say Daniel Rea for not going play side B.
It's got to be you. Not gonna lie.
It's got to be Griffin Stauffer when he doesn't protect the C gap.
I'd have to say it would be me too, you know. I love my coach, you know. He's just harder on me. Discipline. Shoot, I got one.
All right, if we're stuck on a deserted island, do you get one player from the team? Who are you taking with you?
Layden Firestone.
It's Tay Brown.
That boy Will Short, Silverback.
I'll take Will. He's experienced.
I'm going to have to go Will Short, too. I mean, he's trained in combat.
Go ahead.
If there's one sport that y'all could play other than football, what would it be?
Baseball.
Hey, you know I'm a hooper at heart. I still got the J on me.
He swears he can dunk.
I'm going with the family lacrosse.
I'm going with golf, you know, my swing's nice.
Probably like some water polo or something.
Touche. I don't really have any other questions.
I don't either.
We're out.
Hey, wait.
Win the day.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bleacher Talk. It's time for our social spotlight segment, which is why we've got Eliab Gabai here fist bumping, just like Vinny Guadagnino in the Jersey Shore days. And now, actually recently eliminated from Dancing with the Stars. It was a long time coming, if we're being honest. But anyway, that's probably something I'm more so interested in than you guys. But I know we're all interested and excited about, and fist bumping too, some social spotlight. So Eliab, why don't you just kick it off for us?
That's right. I'm always pumped, Claudia, because when these student athletes, remember, they are students. I know we hype them up as they deserve to, and we cover them so much, also well-deserved, but they are just students. So just like today, where you see the Hamilton student athletes doing some of their signing days, that's got to feel great. Early signing day coming up. And at the end of the day, listen, when we cover these student athletes, they have so much pressure on them every single game to succeed. And even just doing all these interviews, good for them. Just seeing the relief. I don't know about y'all, but just seeing the relief in their face when they sign that paper, it feels good to me. Spurge, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's always cool to see that when the schools put something on and get to celebrate the players. I mean, even like last week I was out at Pinnacle and Deuce Robinson got his Under Armour jersey presented to him in front of his teammates and family and a lot of the student body. And it's really cool just to, be able to see them have that community around them and their coaches hyping them up, instead of being on a practice field or a game field where maybe it's a little bit different than in a gymnasium when you're being celebrated for things that you're accomplishing and what you're doing in the future. So always really love to see it.
I love all versions of this. Like I can't get over Amari Washington, revealing it right after a big win. Love something like that. I love there's 10 hats laid out in front of you. Which one are you going to choose? Like every version of how you announce or how these student athletes announce where they're headed, I think is really exciting. I do think there's something to be said about like the gymnasium and like everyone around you. I mean, yesterday when this comes out at Hamilton, it was golf, baseball, volleyball, soccer. So it's just kind of like all of the athletes coming together and celebrating each other and kind of being able to showcase what you've done and get your GPA announced in front of everyone. It was actually really cool. I think it was a volleyball player had like a 4.67 GPA and like the gym went wild over her GPA. And I was like, I love that. So I think it's just actually recognizing all of the accomplishments, not just where they're headed next, but their high school accomplishments. It's kind of like a last hurrah for that. So I love it.
Yeah, I got a cool 3.3 in high school. I did a lot better in college. So shout out to her. Wow. 4.6.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about my GPA. I teach now at ASU.
Hey.
So, you could come around. You could come around.
That's right. That's right. There's hope for all of us. Okay, before we move on, I want to show y'all this little clip from 3 years ago.
I just want to shout out to Campo for taking my towel. I had 2 of them. Both of them are gone. So you guys can keep that as a souvenir. Remember this game. So.
All right. I got to give you some background for this one. That was Kai Milner. He now goes to Cal. He went to Higley. At the time, as you heard in the video, he got his towels taken by Zach Harper of Campo Verde. Now, who you saw tweet the video was a family member, and we believe the brother of Kai Milner, Caden Milner, who used that as motivation to beat Campo Verde very handedly in their senior night and spoil that for them. Listen, that is a deep cut motivation if I have seen one, and I love it. What are some of y'all's favorite motivation going into a big game?
Just about anything Michael Jordan used. Oh, that player said one thing about me. Oh, that guy did this. Oh, he didn't shake my hand. I think that's always like the go-to, like seeing stuff like that, just seeing someone so driven by that stuff. Cause that's just, I don't get slighted by very many things, but when I see athletes that do, I think it's awesome because they use it differently. I always motivated differently than like feeling slighted, but anything Michael Jordan did, because just about every game he found some reason to feel slighted and then he'd go off and prove why he felt slighted.
Even if he had to make it up.
Yeah, sometimes you make it. Those are sometimes the best ones, the ones he made up. Why not?
I think I like to, I don't know about pregame stuff. I love the clapbacks after a win, though. Like Serena Williams was always pretty good about being like, I just had a child and I'm still the best tennis player on earth and like that kind of thing. Just, I think I like it more after a win as opposed to motivation beforehand. I think all of that's great. I like it. Maybe for me, I would be a little bit more internalized about it because I would hate for it to come back and bite me if it didn't work out in my favor. So maybe that's just the way I'm thinking. But dang, Eliav, you did some pretty solid investigative reporting to figure out the timeline and storyline on this one.
Hey, shout out our boy Jordy Ham. Help me out with that one. Now, for this last one, we're going to keep it real simple. We know the Battle of Arizona Avenue is happening tonight, and it's going to be a good one. As always, last year, Hamilton came out with the win, and obviously that ended up being a chip on Chandler's shoulder later on in the year. Folks, I don't have to hype this one up too much, but what are some of y'all favorite memories from last year's, and what are you excited about this year?
I think we probably would agree on a lot of the things. At top of mind, there's 2 things outside of the game. Maybe we can reflect more on the game itself separately, but definitely the sidelines, star-studded. I mean, we saw tons of Cardinals players. Cody Bellinger was on the sidelines. Destroy was on the sidelines. Yeah, it was wild, the star power that was on the field, but even more so on the sidelines. And then probably Nico Marchio singing Country Roads after did go viral for a reason, obviously more personal ties to that, but I think it was hilarious and probably would have only happened with a Hamilton win. I don't think he would have been so optimistically singing Country Roads had they lost. But I honestly think witnessing them winning that game, I think it came at the right time, the right year with the right class for Hamilton, because they've been waiting to kind of redeem themselves and get that dub in the battle for Arizona Avenue. But Spurs, maybe you have some different things.
Well, I was going to go to the atmosphere. I mean, it was 12,000 people at least, which was the most they'd ever had. And I know both of you got to witness big Texas high school football games throughout your times in Texas. And well, Arizona high school football is next level. Claudia, maybe not as much.
No. That game put anything I saw in Texas to shame.
Yeah, it doesn't put anything to shame, but it was the closest that we'd be able to get to that, I think, in Arizona. Yes, the talent.
No, I'm saying it's better. I'm saying it's better by far than anything I saw in Texas.
By far.
You heard it here first. Bigger and better than Texas.
Oh, man, the folks in Texas better not be watching this. Oh, baby.
That was my first taste of that, just seeing, like, I think we went to dinner with Brad and a couple other coworkers beforehand, and he kept us there to like 6:15, and we're like, oh crap, we got to get there. And we had to go find parking and park a mile away and get in there. And, you know, it just was so much fun. And the game just was back and forth. Like, I think at that point we had all picked Hamilton in Bleacher Talk that week alongside Bruce Cooper as well. And there was real times where it felt like Chandler was going to win and Hamilton pulled it off. So should be a good game again. I believe Claudia and I both picked Hamilton. Coop's going for Chandler this year. So don't necessarily care who wins this game. I'm just excited for the game, but quick pick standings wise, it would be nice if Hamilton pulls it off, but we'll leave it there.
That's all I got. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Elioff. Social Spotlight was a blast. It was an awesome being at the luncheon, giving some of the players the chance to interview each other at the luncheon instead of me and Claudia doing it this time. And of course, quick picks with Bruce Cooper was awesome. It's been an amazing regular season. When you see us next week, we'll have some playoff football around the corner between 4A and 6A, open division on a bye. So we're getting into the meat and soul of the season now. That was the only word I could find. But anyways, thanks for watching Bleacher Talk. We'll see you for the playoffs next week.